YouTube, what's going on? It's one guy here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video, I wanted to quickly come on here and talk about Rivera. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you can notify when I upload a video about the NFL. In this case, I watched the football team. Roll the intro, baby. We are Washington. Let's get it.
We Washington, we Washington, we Washington, we Washington, man, we Washington.
So, like I said, I wanted to quickly come on here and talk about head coach Rivera and should he be a candidate for Coach of the Year. Now, I know you guys are probably looking at me crazy, like, Juan, you're crazy, you're tripping. No, he shouldn't. But at least hear me out. Unlike everyone else, Rivera's 2020 has been 10 times worse. Now, I know you're probably looking at me crazy yet again, that everyone's 2020 has been hell, and we all know that. But Rivera, his is on a whole nother different level. I mean, this guy at the beginning of the year, I know this is kind of last year, but late last year, got fired from his team. It didn't take long for him to get hired by us, but still he was fired from his team. He got to us, and that's when the beginning of, the pandemic happened, and they weren't able to meet with their players. This is a guy that had to do virtual with his players, and I know every team had to do this, so this is no excuse. But, I mean, this is a guy that's not a first-year head coach, but is with a new team. And the first time he's seen his players was during training camp of this year. Now, you can be like, okay, well, he did the same thing with Carolina, so he has some experience, which is true. But at the same time, it's like you want to build that camaraderie with your players, and he just wasn't able to get that. Now, like I said, I understand. I know that every other 31 teams were able to or had to deal with this circumstance too. But at the same time, just like Joe Judge, just like Kevin Stefanski, just like who else is a first-year head coach? I can't really think off the top of my head, but all the first-year head coaches, they were behind the eight ball because they weren't able to meet with their players. So with Rivera dealing with getting fired, dealing with the pandemic. He had cancer at the beginning of the 2020 or the early part of the 2020 season. He since beat that, and I don't want you guys to think that's the reason why I'm saying he should be a Coach of the Year candidate. The reason why I'm saying he should be a Coach of the Year candidate is because that I just told you about is true. That's a little part of it, but it's what he's done on the field. Now I know you're probably looking at me like we're 4-7, we're not a good team, so I don't see why he should be a Coach of the Year, but at the same time, that is true, but we're not a great team by far. I'm not saying that, but we're in prime position to win this NFC East, and I think that Rivera deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, this is a guy that week 6 I was going off on because I didn't agree with going for 2 in the Meadowlands where we had a chance to beat the New York Giants, and he didn't even give his defense or offense a chance. In overtime, he went for 2 and went for the game. Looking back on it, yes, it still upsets me, but at the same time, he was right. He wanted to build. This is the only way you build a winning culture. This is the way you learn how to win, is to go to win. And now looking back on it, although it didn't end on the right foot, if it would have ended on the right foot, we would be praising Rivera. So, that's starting with the New York Giants game. Then, after that, it just clicked. I'm sorry, it just clicked. We beat Dallas. We annihilated Dallas. Bye week, we lost another close one to the New York Giants, and it was a heartbreaking fashion. And honestly, guys, this team is one play away from it going our way from being 8-2, 7-4. I'm sorry, 8-2, 7-3, 7-4, whatever you want to say, but that's true. I believe that this team legitimately lost 2 games this season. Now, you can say I'm crazy, I'm biased, but let me go down our list of losses. Week 1, we came back and beat Philly. Week 2, we lost to the Cardinals. That is one of the legitimate losses that I take on the chin. Week 3, we lost to the Cleveland Browns, I believe. Yeah, we lost to the Cleveland Browns. That one was on Dwayne Haskins. So if we had better QB play, we win that game. The Ravens, we was in the game for most of that game, and then they pulled away at the end. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Haskins played better, but if we had, able to punch in on third downs and actually score, we have a chance to win that game. Week 5 versus the Rams, that is the second legitimate loss. We got killed that game. Kyle Allen got hurt, so that is the second legitimate loss. Week 6 in the Meadowlands, that is the loss that, is like, oh, man, if this play goes right, we win this game. If Kyle Allen take care of the ball, we win that game. If Ron Rivera he doesn't go for 2 and kick the PAT, we have a chance to win in overtime. Week 7 versus the Cowboys, we annihilate them. Week 8, we had a bye week. Week 9, we came back and hosted the New York Giants, and we lost yet another nail biter. If we don't have 5 turnovers in that game, we win by double digits. The Giants had 5 turnovers in that game and still only won by 3 points. Both games, they only won by 3 points. So I'm telling you guys, if that goes our way, we win those 2 games. After that, we had Detroit. We lost another heartbreaking game because Chase Young got a penalty. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything is a heartbreaker. The week after that, we played Cincinnati. We won that in a dominant fashion. Well, not a dominant fashion, but Joe Burrow went out and we won 29. So I guess in a dominant fashion, but it doesn't really count because Joe Burrow went out. And then this past week versus the Dallas Cowboys, we annihilated them on Thanksgiving. So do you see what I'm trying to say here? We literally only have 2 legitimate losses. Now, it might be different in you guys' eyes, but from my perspective, that's what I believe. But Ron Rivera, man, he's the perfect coach for this job, and he's really trying to build a winning culture, and he's been through so much from, like I said, from not being able to see his players to training camp, to getting diagnosed with cancer, to being, damn near not dead, but like tired at every game, having to sit during every commercial break. This guy has been through so much, and the fact that he has his team in prime position to win the NFC East is crazy. I mean, this guy, like, I don't know how I can stress this enough, but you guys know, if you have been keeping up with Washington this whole year, that Ron Rivera has been going through it so badly. And this is no excuse because every coach has been going through it in 2020, but not every coach had been diagnosed with cancer. But that's not even what I'm saying here. Just the fact that he has his players and his staff showing up every week and fighting just shows you how good of a coach he is. I mean, like I said, if the ball rolls on the outside of the court for most of these games, we're 8-2, 7-4, 7-3, whatever you want to say here. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Ron Rivera just, he got, I would say, out lucky. I don't know if that's a word, but unlucky in some of those circumstances. And I feel as though if he, make one of the better decisions on one of these plays, or the players, make a better decision, hence Chase Young in that Detroit Lions game, we win that game, we're having a totally different discussion. Ron Rivera has had this team fighting since day one. Ron Rivera is a person that you look up to because he fights, he shows grit, he shows everything. He has everything to be a good human being and head coach, and Ron Rivera has his team in prime position to win the NFC East, and he's going to have his team ready Monday night versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, that's one thing I wanted to talk about here before we get out of here, was that the Washington football team will be facing the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football at 5 p.m., and I know a lot of people don't like playing on Monday night, but Ron Rivera, he typically has one of the best records in NFL as an NFL coach in November and December. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that with Ron Rivera here, it could very well be a different story. We couldn't win on Thanksgiving under the last regime. What happened? So Ron Rivera, man, hats off to you. Keep doing your thing, man. This is probably the best. No, this ain't no problem. This is the best hire Dan Snyder has made under his tenure, and we're only in year 1. And we thought this year was supposed to be a rebuilding year. So happened that the NFC East was going to be trash, and now we're in prime position to win this thing. So why not us? As always, it's me, boy, one guy. Like, comment, subscribe, help to watch the football team. Put your stuff down below and let me know what you guys think. Should Ron Rivera be Coach of the Year candidate? I know he isn't going to win it, but if somehow, by God's green earth, that we win this Super Bowl, he should be Coach of the Year. And even if he doesn't go to the Super Bowl, he should at least be a thought of or a candidate. So without further ado, it's me, boy, one guy. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, help to watch the football team. I'm out. Peace.